Well, hello, everybody. This is Dr. Troy Dukowitz of the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action, and create big-ass results in your life and business. Today's topic is this: don't lose the vision in the midst of the chaos. So if you've been listening to me at all this week, then you know that we have been having landscaping done at our house. And when I reflect on this, here we are midweek as of this recording, and I kind of reflect on some of the additional lessons that I have learned as a result of many things that have taken place. I got to thinking of like day one, and day one had a bobcat getting stuck in our backyard. It had a tow truck driving through my yard to get the bobcat. It has my backyard completely tore up, which they are repairing. It has my front yard completely destroyed, 2 cracks in my sidewalk, which they have to fix. And then everything else that was going on, which is the digging up of the bushes and the trees and the mulch that's in the yard. And so it's interesting because on day one, when you walk outside, like all you see is just mass chaos. It's like a construction zone, like a demolition zone. They're getting ready to build something, but they got to tear everything down in the first place. And as I'm looking at this, it's so important. Like I think about this in terms of life because we've all been there before. We've all been in the midst of chaos, and it's really easy to forget what you're working for. It's really easy to forget what you're working on. And so as I saw all the chaos and there's a tow truck driving through my yard, I literally started to laugh. And I only laughed because I could remember what we were doing. I could remember why we were making this investment. We're making this investment to create a beautiful landscape of our front yard. A low maintenance landscape of our front yard, which meant less work for me and my wife. So there's a lot of important factors here. And as I'm sitting there looking at this entire chaotic construction looking zone, I got to thinking about how easy it is to get distracted when we're rolling up our sleeves and we're getting to work. Think about this, how easy it is for you and I've done it before too, that we have this vision of something that we want to work on. We have this beautiful vision of what we want to work on. But there's work that it takes to get there. There are obstacles that will get in our way to getting to that target, to getting to that goal, to getting to that vision. And what always pushes you forward is the vision. It's the purpose of why you're doing things. It's the clarity and remembering what it looks like that you're creating. Vision and purpose are 2 words that are thrown around so nonchalantly, but yet they're so important in the construction and the building of what it is that you want in life. If you're not clear on the vision of what you want, it's very easy to give up. If you're not clear of why you're doing something, the purpose behind it, if you're not clear on that purpose of why you're doing something, it's very easy to give up, especially when chaos ensues. So if you look at your life, maybe you have had a target in terms of, look, I remember a couple years ago, I'm training for a sprint triathlon. And I get in the pool and it's just so frustrating to swim. I was having such a hard time. But yet I remembered why I was doing it. And I had a vision. I had a vision of myself getting out of the water. And as I got out of the water, I had this vision that my boys were right there waiting for me, that my wife was right there waiting for me, that my family was right there waiting for me, my mom, my dad, my brother. I had this vision that they were there waiting for me. Now, the rest of the race was important, but the hard part, the part that I had been scared of for years, was the swim. And so as I'm training, and it just feels chaotic. My stroke felt chaotic. My kicking felt chaotic. Everything I do just felt off. I felt a mess in the water, but yet I kept training because I thought of the vision. I kept training because I thought of my why. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this for me, to expand myself, to become bigger, to challenge myself on something that does scare me, to challenge myself on something that I'm not sure how I'm going to do. I can train for a running race. I can train for weights. I've done bodybuilding shows before, but now I have to do something that I actually am, ironically enough, I'm afraid of, but yet I have a boat and have no problem going out and taking my family on the boat. Crazy, right? But to swim in open waters, something I've never done before, all of a sudden, my mind just starts filling up with stories and chaos. But I have to remember the vision. I have to remember the purpose, and that ultimately is what pushes you forward. It's so easy to forget why we're doing things. When we look at our house and we saw all the chaos, it's like my wife and I could look at each other and be like, man, it's going to look beautiful though. It looks like hell right now, but it's going to look beautiful. We shall endure. So as I share this with you here today, I ask you one simple question. Where in your life across body, being, balance, and business, in your health, in your spirituality, in your relationships, and in your business, where in those 4 areas of your life are you forgetting why you're doing what you're doing? Where are you forgetting the vision of why you set out to have the goals that you have? Is it in your relationships? Is it in your business? Is it in the team dynamic that you have in your office? Is it in your own health for maybe a race or an event that you want to do? Identify today, where is it that you have lost clarity of what it is that you wanted to create? And identify what it will take for you to course correct, to get back on path today. Because the minute you remember the vision of what you wanted to create, and you remember why you wanted to create it, although you might still feel challenged, the chaos, which is like a fog, starts to clear. And you remember the why, and you remember the vision, and you can roll up your sleeves and get back to work. The distractions can be removed much easier when you're clear of the vision. The distractions are cleared much easier when you are clear of your purpose. So take a look today across body, being, balance, and business. And where is it that maybe it's been a little chaotic? Maybe you felt like it was a construction zone and you forgot why you were doing what you're doing and what it looked like. And I can promise you, if you take that step and identify something that you can do to course correct, not only are you going to have a magnificent day, when you get back on track, you're actually going to create more momentum than you've possibly ever had before in this particular area. That's all I've got for you here today, folks. This is Dr. Troy Dukowitz. If you haven't already, please head on over to iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, and make sure that you subscribe, rate, and or review to this podcast. And if you would be so obliged, I would ask you to please forward this to friends, family members, coworkers, people who you love and care about, and hey, even people you don't, who you think could benefit from this podcast every week, Monday through Friday. And also, if you haven't already, head on over to commitandgo.com, where you can check out, hey, look, just things that are going on in all worlds Troy and all worlds Commit and Go. You can see what it is that we do in terms of coaching, live programs, and hey, there's even a free download there for you if you want it. It is the Time Mastery Program to help you to get organized and structured in your time to get rid of those energy drainers in life. That's all I've got for you here today, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Troy Dukowitz. This has been the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action, and create big ass results in your life and business. We'll hear you next time.